Hello everybody, welcome back to the Young Fan Podcast and welcome to my Matchweek 25 League One predictions. Hopefully some of these games actually get played. I'm about to hit upload on my Boxing Day predictions video, and let's just say a large majority of the games got postponed, so it wasn't really worth uploading. So that didn't happen, but hopefully this week we're going to actually have some games. As of recording, 2 games have already been postponed, which of course is not ideal, but like we keep saying, like we've always been saying, the safety of the players and the safety of anybody, of course, is the most important thing, and football sometimes does have to take a backseat, but obviously we do want to watch some football, so hopefully these games can continue. 2 games have been postponed, Charlton and Gillingham and Cambridge United and Doncaster. Both of those games have already been called off due to COVID outbreaks at those different clubs. But like I said, the other games, the 10 other games, hopefully will still be continuing. Let's not mess about. I've got a really, really exciting podcast episode hopefully coming out for you tomorrow, which is one transfer every League One club needs to make in January. I've been working really, really hard on that episode. So, stay tuned. Tomorrow for you should be when that video goes live. And I really, really am looking forward to you watching that. If you want to make sure you don't miss that, hit that subscribe button. I'm trying to hit 600 subscribers before the end of the year. It would mean a lot. Your support this year has been absolutely phenomenal, and if you could just hit that subscribe button, with 5 away, please do that. It's free, and also in the comments down below, I want to hear your predictions as well. Your predictions in the comments down below, I'll be responding to them as well, and in next week's prediction episode, I'll be shouting out people that get that right. So yeah, please give your thoughts in the comments down below. You don't go unnoticed. Your support doesn't go unnoticed. Thank you so much. Right, let's not mess about. Let's get straight into it. Starting off with Ipswich Town against Wycombe Wanderers. Of course, Ipswich thought their first game under their new management, under their new manager, Kieran McKenna, was going to be against Gillingham last week. It wasn't to be the case because obviously that game in the end did get postponed, and it's going to be against Wycombe, which I no doubt, and no disrespect to Gillingham, I think Ipswich and Kieran McKenna have got a bit more of a difficult start than they would have hoped. Gillingham, I think, would have been a good opportunity to go out there and see exactly the sort of football that Kieran McKenna wants to play and see exactly how his side wants to play. Against Wycombe Wanderers, though, that could be a little bit different because Wycombe have started the season very, very well. After 22 games, they're currently sitting 5th on 42 points. They're looking in really, really good form. They did draw their last game. Before that, though, in the last segment of 5 games we're looking at, they are unbeaten. They've won 3 out of those last 5 games. So they're looking really, really good. And like I said, Kieran McKenna is not going to be easy for a first game in charge. We want to see, and I'm intrigued to see how he gets on at Ipswich. This is going to be quite a difficult game to come into. Wycombe certainly have a style of play. They're going to try and combat a side that I imagine in Ipswich now are going to try and play some really, really good football. You can see Kieran McKenna want to play this sort of young, exciting, I'd say less sort of direct philosophy that we normally see by Wycombe. So this could be an fascinating game. But I'm going to go with, actually, and I don't know if this could be a little bit controversial, I think Ipswich is still going to win this game. It's going to be harder than it was against Gillingham, but I feel now at Portsmouth Road, new manager, the atmosphere is going to be really, really good on that Wednesday night. I think Ipswich are going to win this game, and I'm going to go with 3-1. I could be getting this completely wrong, but something tells me Ipswich, there's going to be a real buzz in that ground now. At home, new manager, 3-1. It's not going to be easy at all, though. But I think if Ipswich really, really, because they're players as well, they're going to be desperate to impress their manager. I'm going to go with 3-1. Next then, we've got MK Dons against Cheltenham Town. And for some reason, I was doing these predictions and I thought goals. I'm thinking goals, and I think there's going to be some serious goals in this game. MK Dons, as of recording, they did play their Boxing Day game. They came from, I believe, 1-0 down against Lincoln City to beat Lincoln City 3-2. So, they really, really did get a fantastic result yesterday. They're still just outside that top 6. 1 point is the difference between them and Oxford United, who are currently sat in 6th. So they're going to try and going to really want to get a win against Cheltenham Town, who are currently sat in 14th and in not great form again. Like we said, we look at that last 5 games, that real segment of last 5 games, they haven't actually won a game. So that's not going to be ideal. They're not in great form, Cheltenham Town. And of course, MK Dons are coming into this game with a really, really good win on the back of it. So I think MK Dons are going to win this game, but I can see there being goals. I'm going to go with 4-2. Now I don't know what's come upon. I don't know what's come over me here doing this prediction, but I'm going to go with 4-2. I saw them scoring some serious goals against Lincoln, and like I said, predictions in this league is really quite unpredictable. I'm going to go with MK Dons 4, Cheltenham 2. Goals. A 6-goal thriller I'm going with there. But yeah, let's see what happens in that one. Next then we've got Morecambe against Crewe, the battle of the teams in the relegation zone. Crewe are rock bottom, they're in 24th, and Morecambe are in 21st position. Morecambe are in some pretty horrible form in the last 5 games. They haven't won a game, they've lost 3 as well in those last 5. As for Crewe, they're slowly getting better. We're seeing slight improvements. They have got 2 wins in the last 5 games. They've only won 3 games overall out of the entire campaign. So those last 5 games, they're getting better. They are showing slight improvement. They do find themselves still 7 points adrift in that relegation zone. But a win against Morecambe and a result against Morecambe really would be very, very helpful in their continuous race to get out of that bottom 4. And I think Crewe have got this one in the bag. I do, but only just. I can see this being quite a tight game, quite a slow game, and quite an edgy game between 2 sides that know that they can't lose. And I think Crewe Crewe more than anyone need to win this sort of game. Morecambe need to win. Crewe need to go and win this sort of game because it's a side that clearly aren't in great form. They're clearly not one of the best sides in the league. They're in the relegation zone just like they are. They need to go and win. Like I said, they've won 2 games at the last 5, so there is a slight improvement in that Crewe side. They need to go and capitalise on that. They need to go and use that, and they need to go and get a win against Morecambe. It's not going to be easy. It's going to be difficult. It's at Morecambe as well, so that makes it even more difficult. But I fear that Morecambe's form and Crewe's belief they need to go and win that game because a draw won't be enough. Morecambe can get away with a draw. They're only 2 points adrift from the relegation zone. Fleetwood and Lincoln, on 22 points. Morecambe on 20. There's only a 2-point gap between them and 19th. So they really know that a draw for Morecambe, it's not an awful result. For Crewe, though, there needs to be a win there. I think they're going to get that, and I'm going to go with Morecambe 0, Crewe 1. Next then we've got Oxford United against AFC Wimbledon. Oxford are currently sat in 6th, just inside the playoffs, but only by a point, as we just mentioned, with MK Dons really scrambling behind them. AFC Wimbledon are in really good form, actually. The last 4 games, they are unbeaten, and they're currently sat in 17th. So this is going to be quite an interesting game, and I keep saying it. And if you're going to note down on how many times I say interesting games across all my fixtures in my predictions videos and podcasts, this is probably that's probably the word. Interesting game. They're all interesting. They're all fascinating. But Oxford United, this is going to be quite a difficult game for them. Because again, we didn't have Portsmouth at the weekend. But for me, and the belief that I have in this Oxford United squad at the moment is quite high. And I believe, with the last game we played, of course, with the defeat against Wigan, we were going to play Portsmouth. That game got postponed. So you'd like to think we're quite fresh. We did have some key players out with COVID as well. So hopefully those players are now back, hopefully either training or fully fit. And they can play in this game because we're going to need them. A side that are very, very... And you never know what you're going to get there, FC Wimbledon. You really don't. They are actually a slight bogey team to Oxford United. And, we've already been beaten by them earlier in the season. Quite a disappointing result there. I think it was 3-1 in the end. Sykes scored early and then they came back. Set pieces were horrific. We couldn't defend a set piece. So we need to be wary of that. And Oxford United will be very, very wary of the threat they offer, especially from set pieces. So I think Oxford United are going to find this one difficult, but I trust Oxford United. I believe they've got the win there at home. It's going to be a good atmosphere. Especially after that Portsmouth game got postponed. We want to see football. Fans are going to want to go and watch some football. So I'm going to go with a win for Oxford United, and I'm going to go with 2-0. But I can see it being 2-1, but I'm going to back a clean sheet, and I'm going to go with 2-0. Next, then we've got a very, very big game. It's a huge game. It's Plymouth against Portsmouth. Plymouth are currently sat in 4th and have won their last 2 games. They played yesterday, I believe, won that game. Is it 2-0 or did it go to 3-0? No, it's 2-0 against Cheltenham. And Portsmouth, well, they haven't played for a few games because obviously they have had a COVID outbreak at the football club. However, the last game was a 2-0 win against Morecambe. They're on really good form. They got a good draw against Sheffield Wednesday. And before that, they beat Gillingham 1-0. But in between that, they did actually get knocked out of the FA Cup by Harrogate. But their League One form is very, very good, and that needs to certainly be noted. We look at the last 5 games, like I said, they haven't lost a game. They won 3 of the last 5. They're in great form, and the Cowley brothers, especially Danny Cowley now, is really getting this side playing some good football. They started the season a little bit worryingly, but they're now really climbing up the League One table. Their players are clicking. Harness up front's doing a great job, really bagging in the goals. Hopefully for them, they keep him at the club in January, because there will certainly be interest from other clubs. So yeah, this is going to be quite interesting, and this game as well I think is going to be quite tight. I'm going to go with a draw, not tight in the sense there's not going to be so much going on. I think there's going to be goals. It's going to be a tight result though. I'm going to go with 2-2. I can see goals in this game. I'm going Plymouth 2, Portsmouth 2. So, next at end, we've got Rotherham against Lincoln. Rotherham are high flying. They did lose, though, yesterday. And Lincoln also lost yesterday as well, 3-2 to MK Dons, and they are struggling. Michael Appleton's Lincoln City side last season were absolutely brilliant. This side, with a few changes in the summer, are not having a season to remember. The last 5 games have been very, very worrying. They've lost 4 out of the last 5 games. They're only 2 points away from the relegation zone. It is not a good season at Lincoln City. They need that January transfer window to bring some players in and really bolster that squad, because at the moment they really only look like a side that are going downwards. But unfortunately, they can't go downwards anymore, really, other than the last 4 positions of the table getting in that relegation zone, and that's somewhere where they really do not want to be. They're playing, like I said, against a Rotherham side who before yesterday were on a fantastic unbeaten run. But surprisingly, they were beaten by Accrington Stanley 1-0. Away from home, a tough place to go, Accrington Stanley, who are, like I said, are in good form and are 10th in the league as well. Beaten by them, it was not a result they would have wanted or expected. I'm going to be honest, I didn't expect Accrington Stanley to win that game. I know Accrington are a side that really can cause upsets, but honestly, Rotherham have looked like a really, really good side, well organised, and I still trust them in this game. Although that was a bit of a banana skin hiccup yesterday against Accrington Stanley, I still think they've got this in the bag. I still think they can beat Lincoln. They're not in good form, Lincoln City, at all. I'm going to go 2-0 to Rotherham. It hurts me to see Michael Appleton not doing well at a football club, because I know I have so much respect for him. What he did at Oxford, I believe he's a very, very good manager. Hopefully they don't sack him, because I think that would be a really, really bad decision on Lincoln City. But there's no doubt they're not in great form at all. So I can see him lose this game, unfortunately. I'm going to go with 2-0 to Rotherham. Next, we've got Shrewsbury Town against Accrington Stanley, and Shrewsbury are not having a fantastic season, let's be saying, but ultimately, at the moment, the last 5 games haven't been their worst. They are 18th, like I said, they're not having the greatest of seasons, but the last 5 games, they've won 3. They have lost their other 2, but there's no doubt there's improvements. They were much lower early in the season, and they are now slowly getting a little bit better. 25 points they're currently on. That's only 4 points away, and that's how close this league is. 4 points away from Ipswich, who are in 11th. A few results going your way and you're really climbing up that table, and Shrewsbury are a prime example of that, who were in the relegation zone for a while and now really climbing up the table. They're playing against a side, Accrington Stanley, like I said, had a really, really good result on Boxing Day against league leaders Rotherham United, and I can really see Accrington take something from that game into the next one, and you want to see that with sides. We speak about it all the time. I speak about it a lot with Oxford. Can you take a good result into the next one? Can you take the positives from that result and take it into the next one? Really start growing a real run. And like I said, Accrington, their recent form is really, really good. Their goal difference of -9 is a little bit strange. You've got teams around them on much high goal difference, but we did beat them 5-1 in the season, so that might be something to do with it. But still, their last 5 games, 4 wins out of the 5 is really, really good. And I think Accrington Stanley are going to win this game. It is away from home for them, but I still think they're going to edge it. I'm going to go with 2-1. Next, then, we've got Wigan against Fleetwood Town. Wigan are currently sat in 3rd, but unbeaten in their last 5 games. And Fleetwood are currently sat in 19th. They've lost their last game. They drew the game before that. But, of course, they've just appointed their caretaker manager as a head coach. Craney, I believe his name is. He was there as a head of under-18s manager, I want to say. So he's a big part of the young players that are coming through at Fleetwood now. So he knows the football club really, really well. He's steered the ship quite well. When Grayson got sacked, he's been appointed, like I said, as that head coach. I think this could be a struggle, though. Away from home at Wigan, I think this game really, really could go, I think, towards Wigan in quite a heavy way. I'm going to go with 3-0. Fleetwood's form's not great. Wigan are a really, really good side. We've recently seen them play. They play a certain way. They play quite an aggressive way, but they get the job done and they steamroll certain teams. I'm going to go with 3-0 in this one. I apologise, Fleetwood fans. I could be getting this one really, really wrong, but I've watched Wigan this season. They're a force, and I think they're going to win this game 3-0. And finally then, arguably the biggest game of the weekend, we've got Sunderland against Sheffield Wednesday. I realised I just said weekend there. It's not the weekend, it's the Christmas period. It's actually a Wednesday, weekday. Sunderland against Sheffield Wednesday. What is this game going to offer? Now, I've actually written my prediction down, but I'm reading it now, and I'm going to read out my prediction, and I'm probably going to... It's quite funny, really, what I've gone with. I'm going to hype this game up quite a lot, and I have actually predicted it 0-0. And there was a reason behind that. I could see this game being really quite tight. I really, really can see this game being quite tight. Then I'm looking at how many goals these sides have scored. Sheffield Wednesday scored 21 goals. 30 goals, and Sunderland have scored 41. Sunderland have scored, I believe, the third highest amount of goals in the league, and Sheffield Wednesday haven't scored the most goals. They haven't scored many. Well, they have scored a lot of goals, but they haven't scored as many as a few teams. There's a few teams around them that have scored actually more. Interestingly, Fleetwood have scored more goals than Sheffield Wednesday, by 6 actually. So when I'm looking at that 0-0 draw, I'm thinking, I don't really know if that's the right sort of prediction. But then I'm also thinking, I can cancel this game being a draw. Sunderland are, at the moment, live as of recording, they're actually beating Doncaster 1-0. So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, Sheffield Wednesday are in good form. The last 5 games, they've won 3. Sunderland, if they win this game, they would have won 3 out of their last 5 games as well. The few draws in there, but that was against Oxford United, so that's interesting. I'm going to go the draw, but I'm going to take away the 0-0. I'm going to put 1-1. I can still see this game being a draw. Something tells me this game's got a draw written all over it. Two sides that are in good form. They both want to get into that top 6. Sunderland are currently sat on the live table with that win against Doncaster at the moment, sat in second. Sheffield Wednesday are only 2 points away from the playoffs, so they really want to try and get in there at the Stadium of Light. I'm going to go with 1-1. I think Sheffield Wednesday are going to do similar to what Oxford United did. Go there, maybe not expect to get a win, but try and go there and get a draw. I think they're going to do that, and I'm going to go with 1-1 in that game. They might go for a win, and fair play. They might go try on there and go and beat Sunderland. They might do, but I'm going to go with 1-1 in that game. And that rounds up my League One predictions for the 29th of December, or match week 25. Like I said, I want to hear your predictions in the comments down below. And if you haven't subscribed, please do hit that subscribe button. It really would mean a lot. 5 subscribers away from the 600, the big milestone I've been wanting to get for quite a while now. Please hit that subscribe button. I've been Jack. It's been the Young Fan Podcast. Take care, stay safe. Hopefully these games actually happen. And I'll see you all very, very soon. See you in a bit.